Hello everybody, my name is Jens Kruger and I will talk a little bit about the Goodtime Banjos. Well, this is the Goodtime and it's been really a classic for the last many years, and a lot of people have started their journey in the banjo with this instrument right here. This is open back. It's an 11-inch open back banjo. It's got a 3-ply maple rim, so it has a really good frequency response. It's got a hard maple neck. It's very comfortable to play. The shape is very the same like on the very high-end D-rings, so you can get right used to the very professional grade instruments with the entry banjo level. So these instruments are built for beautiful tone, and we have different styles of these banjos. Now this one here is open back, and because the tone also coming from the head, gets onto my clothes, the tone is a little softer, not quite as loud, and warm, beautiful. Not as many fingerpick noises because some of the highs are actually cut because it's open back. Also, this banjo is great for clawhammer. So. Okay, so if we now look at the Goodtime 2, the Goodtime 2 is essentially exactly the same banjo. Everything is the same, except it's got a resonator. So what a resonator does, the tone gets reflected against the resonator and comes partly out of these holes here on the side, on this flange. So it's got a flange and it's got a resonator. That results in a tone that's actually quite louder. You can hear that the tone is a little sharper. There's more highs to the tone. You can hear that there's a little bit more sustain. And for instance, when you play with a guitarist together and you want to just have a little bit louder instrument, this one will really do the trick. It sounds still warm and round because there's no tone ring in here, which then the next banjo I will show you will have a little tone ring in. But this means that the frequencies that are created by the string get into the body much easier because there's nothing to hold it back. And so that's why the tone is so mellow. Maybe you wonder why I'm doing this, but it's actually, I'm just using the neck just a little bit, and it makes the banjo twice as big. So that's a little trick I do. But with these banjos, you can do that really well. It's a very fantastic instrument, and there's a lot of bands actually out there that use this instrument on stage because it just translates so well. So let me talk a little bit about the special. So now you can see here on the side maybe there's a metal ring in here. Well, this metal ring makes the banjo heavier than the Goodtime 2. It looks the same pretty much. You can see it looks almost identical, but this one is a little bit heavier. It's about, I think, 1.5 pounds heavier. But the tone ring that is patented in this banjo it keeps some of the vibrations of the head of moving into the pot. So it actually cuts the bass a little bit and increases the sustain in the mid-range. So this banjo has a lot more translation in a group. So this banjo is a lot more punchy without actually having to work more because the banjo is not quite as bassy sounding as the other two, but it has a lot more power to it. In frequencies, that are easier to be heard in the jam session, for instance. So if you play a lot with more people or so, you can hear that the sound is much stronger. So you can hear it has just a little bit more punch. The special has a resonator, it has a tone ring, and it has, in the tone characteristics, it has a little bit more mid-range and a little bit more punch. It also has a little bit more clarity in the highs. So this instrument has also a little bit more sustain in the bass. That means that the notes hold a little longer. And so when you are in a situation, in a jam session with more people, with the same effort, you can hear yourself and the others can hear you much better with this instrument. It's just a little bit louder and punchier. Now with the Goodtime 2, it just doesn't have a tone ring. That's the only difference. The Goodtime 2 is just a little bit less loud. But the tone is actually very warm, very, very round. It's a very pleasant tone to play. And then the standard open back version is a little quieter than the other two, but nevertheless it sounds absolutely sweet. And all of these banjos, all of the Goodtime lines have a neck shape of a high-end banjo. So you really get used to an instrument that feels absolutely great. And the frets are perfectly put in. The action of the banjo is absolutely perfect. You can see that it's very easy to fret and press down. The distance between the strings is very favorable to not touch, that fingers don't touch each other. So it's the tuners very precise, very good to handle. So I think this is, in my opinion, this is the best entry-level banjo that you can get. And try it out. You will absolutely love this instrument.